There we go. Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 13th of January 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight on both AEW Dynamite and NXT. Also, I need to fix one thing just so it doesn't happen again next time. There we go. I shouldn't be muted when we start up next time. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, if you're here on Twitch, you can support us a couple of different ways, either with a donation by hitting that button down below, that link down below, with a bit donation, giving them Twitch biddies, or with a subscription, because if you want to subscribe to the channel, well, you can do it in a couple of different ways, either with a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, not only in March can you watch Coming to America with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall, but you can subscribe to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, absolutely free. You get one, and we'd greatly appreciate it if you use that one on us. If you're watching over there on YouTube, you can support us two different ways, either with a super chat donation or becoming a member. Hit that join button down below right next to where it says subscribe, and you could become a member of the channel. But with that, we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite New Year Smash Night 2. We're here to talk about NXT. Boom, thank you for the comment in the live chat on YouTube. He says, love the new mic, so crisp. Appreciate that. But with that, thinking about both of these shows, I didn't think either were bad. I'm not going to say that. But, and I don't say this, at least I don't think I say this that often, I liked NXT better. I thought NXT was the better show tonight. I just, for some reason, had this feeling as soon as the show started where I was just like, yeah, there's just something here. And throughout the show, AEW had good things, had their moments and all that. But I thought NXT overall was the better show. So with that, as we always do, kick it off with AEW Dynamite. Also, I do want to remind you, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Already know I got some messages in the bin because before I even started setting everything up, my phone was going off with text. So I got at least three. I know there's at least three in there. Actually, let's pop those open now so we don't have to worry about it later. But let's talk about AEW Dynamite. All right. So AEW Dynamite kicked off with Pac versus Eddie Kingston, and then they aired a slight promo from Eddie Kingston earlier in the day. Eddie Kingston basically just said he would bust Pac up and send him back home, and when he does, he ain't coming back this time when he sends him home. So I thought this was a good, hard-hitting match, fun opener for what it was. Pac exploded out before the bell with a shotgun dropkick before landing a Fosbury flop on the outside. Back in the ring, Pac continued to put the boots to Kingston before hitting a missile dropkick. Kingston countered with a corner attack and a second rope knee drop. Kingston sent Pac out of the ring, and the bunny drug her nails in Pac's face while Kingston distracted the ref, and then Phoenix ran over basically to stop her. Didn't put his hands on her or anything, but he got close enough where she's like, ooh, back it up. Come on, back it up. Butcher and Blade jump over there too, just so Phoenix can't do anything, and the match continues. Pac finally gets his wits about him at one point and hits a nice German suplex. Pac then laid in some mid kicks, but Kingston fired up with strikes and a backdrop for a 2. Pac stunned Kingston on the top rope with an enziguri before following it up with a superplex. He continued the offense till Kingston popped up with the big lariat for a 2. Pac countered a DDT and hit a running dropkick before landing the Black Arrow to pick up the victory. So yes, Pac does defeat Eddie Kingston here tonight. So after the match, Pac locked on the Brutalizer on Eddie Kingston until the Butcher and the Blade ran in to break it up. As it looked like we were going to get a 3-on-3 square off, music hits, and we go, whose music's this? Because here's the thing with AEW and me, and others could be different. Honestly, when I hear music, except for a handful of guys, I don't know who the fuck it is. I know Omega's music, the Bucks' music, Hangman, Jericho, Cody, Best Friends. I'm trying to think who else's music that I can hear hit and go, oh, they're coming out. I think that might be it, those 6. Oh, Lucha Bros. I know Lucha Bros. I can distinguish Lucha Bros, but there's a lot of them where I hear it and I just go, who's coming out? And they didn't play any graphic on the screen or anything, so nobody knew. The announcers even played it like, whoa, someone's music is playing. They didn't even say, that's the music of Lance Archer. And all of a sudden, Archer finally came out, and I don't know what the hell Jake was wearing tonight. Jake the Snake was wearing some sort of tracksuit that, oh God, did not look good. But Archer's music hits. He and Jake made their way down to the ring. Archer chased off Kingston and company before exchanging words with Pac. And that was really it. Nothing really happened there. So next up, we got Miro versus Chuck Taylor. If Chuck Taylor loses, he must be Miro's young boy till February 3rd and the wedding of Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. And I'm going to say this right now. I was talking with a friend during the show, and we both had the same sentiment. It is sad that Miro comes on the screen and we don't care. That Miro is doing something that we don't care about. Everyone was so excited for Miro to come to AEW, and then he made that debut. But now, Miro comes up on the screen, oh, Miro's got a match, and I almost don't even care. That's how little I care about this storyline. Like, I honestly don't care about this storyline at all. And it's kind of dumb to me. And my friend said the same thing. He's like, it's a shame that Miro comes on the screen and we don't care. Now, others can feel different and go, oh, no, that's my boy Miro. I love watching Miro. Miro, yeah, woo. Okay, cool. But that's just mine and one of my friends' both sentiments. It's just like, Miro's got a match, but we're just watching it because it's on the show, not because, oh, crap, that's a Miro match. I got to watch it. You know what I mean? So Miro posed at the bell, so Taylor attacked him with some strikes before sending Miro to the floor. Taylor sent Miro into the staging area multiple times before landing a tope con heel. He continued the attacks on the floor, sending Miro into the ring post and landing a diving knee drop. Taylor went to the top rope, but was distracted when Sabian attacked Orange Cassidy. Miro took that as an advantage and hit a Samoan drop. It was all Miro from here. Thrust kick, game over, boom. Chuck tapped in under 4 minutes. Under 4 minutes, Chuck Taylor tapped out. So sad, so sad. And they kind of like... So the end was kind of weird too. So they've got... It's Miro, Penelope, and... Kip on the stage. They've got a lifeless Chuck Taylor like in front of them or whatever. And then Orange Cassidy's just in the ring. They're like, what are you going to do, Orange? What are you going to do? Nothing. You can't do anything. He agreed to this. And then they cut to the back. It's just whatever. Matt Hardy and Private Party were interviewed after the tag team signed Hardy as their manager. Hardy had to speak first. Private Party were still excited about Hardy's management. That is, until Quinn complained about Hardy taking a large chunk of their earnings. He called Hardy a money-grabbing carny. Hardy said the Private Party was nothing before him and demanded that they listen to him from now on. I don't know if I'd say they were nothing before him. I mean, they had some good matches before him. Yeah, they weren't. So when AEW started and Dynamite first started, it looked like they were going to push Private Party harder than they have. And yeah, maybe they're getting a little more screen time now with Matt Hardy. It just guarantees that they're on the show every week and BTE every week. But it's like out of 4 weeks out of the month, they used to only maybe miss 1 week anyways. So it's like, I don't know what Matt Hardy's doing for them other than just making them seem like comedy guys, not serious tag team wrestlers. That's how I see them. I don't see Private Party seriously as I used to. I always saw them as kind of comedy goofs because they're whole weighing in at 24 ounces of cranberry vodka. You know, that whole thing. I was kind of like, that's stupid. But at least when they got in the ring, I took them as serious. But now with the whole Matt Hardy stuff, I don't take them as serious anymore. Next up, we got the Inner Circle New Year's resolutions. Jericho said, "Who wants to start?" Hager simply yelled, "Championships, yeah!" MJF wanted to strengthen bonds with everybody else in the group and also get rid of the fat. Ortiz wanted to master what did he say? Sofrito recipe, Sofrito? I don't know exactly how he said it. I think it's a Mexican dish. The resolution for Jericho was winning the AEW Tag Team Championships with his tag team partner, MJF. I was like, oh, not Sammy, okay. Santana took offense to this. He and Ortiz are Inner Circle's designated tag team, he said. And Sammy goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on there. What are we talking about? Designated tag team. He said Jericho's maybe just a tag team slut. I mean, we've seen Jericho team with Sammy. We've seen Jericho team with Hager. We've seen Jericho now team with MJF. MJF stood up for Jericho as the rest of the group kind of calmed each other down. Jericho said that any of them could be tag team champions. So next week, we're going to prove who the actual tag team in the Inner Circle is, the triple threat match. We're going to see the team, MJF and Jericho, Santana and Ortiz, and Sammy and Hager. And when Sammy goes, yeah, Sammy Hager. And Jericho goes, really? Sammy Hager? And Guevara's just kind of just like, yeah, Sammy Hager. What? Huh? And he didn't get the joke for Sammy Hagar. You know, the old rock legend, Sammy Hagar. Jericho's was like, yeah, whatever, never mind. MJF would wrap it up and say, this group is better than you, and you know it. They did the whole middle finger salute thing in the middle of the ring. I think Santana was like, why's your hand darker than your face? And MJF was like, don't worry about that. And then they did the middle finger. Go to another interview backstage where Alex Marvez seemed very scripted tonight. Like, Alex Marvez always seems a little wooden, but he seemed more scripted than normal. Basically, Evil Uno said that whatever they do from now on will all be in the name of their leader, Mr. Brody Lee. He said, and he have made them better people, and they will become even better people in his honor. That it all starts next week when the Dark Order teams with Hangman Page. Didn't say who in the Dark Order is teaming with Hangman Page, whether it's a regular tag match, 6-man, 8-man, 10-man, 12-man, we don't know. John Silver then grabbed the microphone and got really excited. He's like, oh, we're going to interview you. We're going to interview you, Hangman. And Reynolds took it and goes, it's okay. He still gets too excited around you. Basically like, when are you going to tell us you're joining the Dark Order? When will you give us the actual, hey, I'm joining or not? Next week? Next week? And Paige goes, all right, I'll do it. Next week, after our match, I'll let you know if I'm going to join or not. So it looks like next week we'll finally find out if Adam Hangman Page is joining the Dark Order. Got a really good video package hyping up the main event tonight. Darby Allin defending the TNT Championship against Brian Cage. So then we get this segment where we're backstage, Kenny Omega, Don Callis, and the Young Bucks. And they're talking about their entrance, and Don goes, no. I like the Young Bucks entrance. Kenny, you've got a cool entrance. How about we all come out separately? Let the Young Bucks have their own entrance. And Matt Lionel kind of looks and goes, okay, whatever. Kenny does his whole thing. You know, they say that he's going to be the first AEW contracted wrestler to be wrestling on a TNA or Impact pay-per-view coming up this weekend at Hard to Kill. They say the North Carolina, which I still don't understand what that's supposed to reference. And then Don grabs the mic and says, "Hey, Justin, we got it from here." So Don Callis, says, got the AEW real world champ. You have the real world's champion right here in Kenny Omega, and he's going to team tag team champions. Yes. Coming up are your world tag team champions, his two best friends in the entire world, the Good Brothers. And out would come Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. They would then show the Young Bucks and Tony Khan backstage, very upset and perplexed by what just happened, because they all thought Kenny was teaming with the Bucks. And yes, Kenny is a EVP, but if this isn't the match that Tony Khan signed with the Good Brothers Wrestling, shouldn't he have just sent the Bucks out and been like, "Hey, no, you're in this match, not them. Ref, don't start the match." But no, Tony Khan lets these goddamn victims, or what do they call them? The prisoners run the asylum. Tony Khan lets these guys do whatever they want with no repercussions, even if it goes against what he booked. So we end up getting Kenny Omega, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows with Don Callis against the Varsity Blondes, Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., and Danny Limelight. And they gave Danny Limelight a lot of, I guess you could say, limelight tonight. So Omega and company attacked the baby faces before the bell, and the fight spilled to the floor. Limelight got a hot spot in the ring, but Gallows downed him with a clothesline. Varsity Blondes set the Good Brothers packing, allowing for the match to actually kind of reset and get going to what a actual 6-man tag team match is supposed to be. The Blondes maintained control on Omega with frequent tags in and out until Limelight tagged in, and Gallows basically just kicked the shit out of this guy. And then Omega hit a Guitar Crusher. Omega, Gallows, and Anderson kept up the attack through a commercial break. Back from the break, Limelight landed a springboard Hurricane Rana and avoided a German suplex before hitting a kick, allowing him to reach Pillman for the hot tag. Pillman ran wild on all three opponents before teaming up with Garrison to hit a Doomsday Blockbuster for a 2 on Carl Anderson. Omega then ran into the ring as his team regained control, and they hit a triple neck breaker, but their opponents broke it up when they went for the pin. A big boot from Anderson got another 2. Good Brothers went for the gun stun, but Limelight tagged in. Anderson stopped Limelight's attack with a spine buster. The Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer to pick up the victory. So, that little 6-man tag, I think this is one of the better things on tonight's show. As the match ended, all of a sudden, we got static on the screen, and we heard the music. And this is another one I forgot to mention earlier. This is another one that I can distinguish, Moxley. Moxley's music is another one that, when it hits, I know what it is. So that's 7 that I know within AEW. There's a lot more than 7 wrestlers in AEW. Anyways, Moxley runs out. He comes out from, the stands like he normally does, and he was outnumbered and didn't care. Tried to fight them off when the Lucha Bros would run out to try to even the odds. Some AEW dark talent came out to try and break it all up. Moxley landed a tope on a big pile of guys before the Young Bucks would finally come out. They tried to talk Moxley down, calm him down, or whatever you say. Lucha Bros then downed the Young Bucks. Fucking 2019 history there. They hit super kicks, and then there was a wild free-for-all brawl as Omega and Callis ran away. So I don't know where the Young Bucks really stand here, because it's like they were fucked over by Kenny tonight. They were supposed to team with Kenny, but then Kenny ended up teaming with the Good Brothers instead. So they should be mad about that. But then they come out and try to calm down Moxley. Were they calming down Moxley just to diffuse the entire situation? Or were they calming down Moxley because, well, how do I phrase this? They're on the side of Omega. I don't know. Vegeta Lover in the YouTube chat says, Tamatonga said they aren't the Bullet Club. No, they're not. They're the Elite. But here's the thing. I was thinking about this earlier when I was watching NXT. There'd be no Bullet Club, and a lot of these guys wouldn't be in the positions they are today if it wasn't for one man. One man we're going to talk about later. The NXT champion. Yeah, Finn Balor. Finn Balor started the Bullet Club. If it wasn't for Finn Balor, I'm not going to say none of these guys would be main eventers and in the position they're in, but there's a good chance that they wouldn't be yet or now or even in the position they're in if it wasn't for him and Fale starting the Bullet Club, it growing to what it was, and then guys being able to take what they gained from being in Bullet Club and branch that out. So, hey, all these guys, they owe Finn Balor their careers. A lot of these guys. Kenny Omega. Yes, Kenny would have been a major star even if he wasn't in Bullet Club, but would he be as popular? Same with the Young Bucks. They would have been major stars as well. But would they be as popular if they were never in the Bullet Club? And also, if they were never in Bullet Club, would we have the Elite? Would we have the group of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks if we never had them in the Bullet Club? Also with Gallows and Anderson. They would have never, been with AJ. WWE would have never paired them together. They may never even left New Japan to go to WWE with AJ if AJ never came and joined Bullet Club, or if they were never in Bullet Club, or if Scott D'Amore never told Gallows, hey, go to Japan and team with this Carl Anderson guy. I think you guys would make a great team. It's just like so many guys owe their careers to being in Bullet Club. And it wouldn't be anything. There wouldn't be a Bullet Club. It was for one man. Prince Devitt or Finn Balor. Yeah, Adam Cole too. Adam Cole maybe not as much, because Adam Cole was always like an extra guy in Bullet Club. He was like, I'm the ROH World Champion. Yeah, I'm going to hang out with these guys that are my friends because they're in Bullet Club. I'll say I'm Bullet Club. But I always kind of felt like Adam Cole was just the hanger-on in the Bullet Club as I'm just hanging out with the Bucks because we're all friends kind of guy. I never felt like Adam Cole was 100% in Bullet Club. It's just, that's the way I always felt for some reason. It always felt like he was just the Bucks' friend hanging out with them, to be completely honest. I want to say thank you to, I think it's Sia Expensi in the YouTube chat for becoming a YouTube member. Really do appreciate that support. But with that, well, and Ruben Rodriguez says Adam Cole, Hangman Page, AJ Styles. AJ would have been a major star anyways. He was the biggest guy. AJ Styles, before joining Bullet Club, was the basically biggest pro wrestler outside of WWE. He was the most popular pro wrestler outside of WWE. I'm going to say that right now. So that one is kind of like, yeah, him joining Bullet Club maybe helped him get more eyes from WWE on him, as far as, ooh, look at this guy's doing in Japan, we need to sign him. So maybe in that route he can say, hey, if I never joined Bullet Club, I may never made it to WWE. But AJ Styles, like I stated, was the guy outside of WWE. And then when he went to WWE, McIntyre became the guy. And then, well, they both ended up in WWE. But anyways, getting off track here. I don't know where the Young Bucks stand. I don't know if they're AEW true or Kenny Omega loyalists, or if they're just kind of like, hey, we just want to diffuse the entire situation. Moxley, calm the F down. Sinclair Saturday says, what about Cody? Fuck Cody. Cody was another guy that was like, yeah, he was Bullet Club, but he was always really just doing his own thing anyways, to be completely honest. Cody was always just doing his own thing anyways. You know what I mean? And I mean, I've been to like 3 or 4 New Japan shows. I've been to the press events and everything. And honestly, Cody was always just doing his own thing and all that stuff. It was always just like, oh yeah, Cody Rhodes is in a match. Not Cody Rhodes of the Bullet Club. It was always like, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, they're Bullet Club. They're representing Bullet Club. But whenever they would address Cody, especially at the media events, it was always just Cody Rhodes, the ROH World Champion, with Brandy. So, I don't know. I want to say thank you to Adalicious, I think I said that right, in the YouTube chat for subscribing with the Tier 1 subscription. Really do appreciate that. Give me one quick second, guys. I need to look something up. Don't know what this is. Let's All right. Sorry about that. Ow. But with that, back to AEW Dynamite. Speaking of Cody Rhodes, we got Cody Rhodes in the next segment, The Waiting Room, Dr. Brit Baker, and this was horrible. And it's always been horrible. I've never liked the waiting room segments. I thought the waiting room segments have always been bad on Dark, and they brought it to Dynamite, and it's still bad. It's still bad. Rebel's little introduction is bad. When she laughs at the stupid stuff that Baker says, she's like gets wide-eyed and she's like, yeah. Stupid. And so earlier today, Cody Rhodes is like, everyone's going to be shocked by what I say tonight on AEW Dynamite, on The Waiting Room. He didn't even say anything, really. So, Red Bull, or Reba, whatever you want to call her, introduces Brit Baker. She comes out, says a couple things about Cody, some campy comedy that was horribly delivered. I think it's supposed to be intentionally bad. And then they say, well, our guest, Cody. And they have these little sparklers, and they go, look, we still gave him his pyro. Anyways, Baker congratulated Cody on he and Brandy's upcoming baby, their pregnancy, I guess you could say. Cody was about to talk about the year to come when Baker goes, hold on. I got one more surprise for you. We got another guest coming out here. Let me introduce Jade Cargill. And Jade would come out. And Cody was kind of like, huh? They cut to Baker. I skipped the whole paragraph here. So Jade comes out here and she goes, nobody cares about your wife being pregnant. I don't care if she's pregnant or not. Where's my opponent? I got to wait till Brandy returns? And then all of a sudden, Red Velvet would come out. And her and Jade kind of get into it. My first thought was, who the hell is going to care about Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet? If that doesn't sound like an AEW dark match to me, I don't know what does. They get a little pull apart. Red Velvet gets shoved out the door. Cody goes with her. Jade is still here. And then they turn their focus. Cody said nothing. What happened to everyone's going to be shocked by what I have to say tonight? He didn't say shit. Anyways, all of a sudden, it cuts to a video of Brit Baker attacking Thunder Rosa from a couple of weeks ago. It was followed up with a video from Thunder Rosa, who said, I want to fight Brit Baker. Can't be there right now, but I am going to fight Brit Baker on a big event. Beach break, February 3rd, you and me. Baker starts complaining, whoa, no, I was told I don't have to fight her. Tony Khan, what are you talking about? Tony, hey, you said the match didn't have to happen. We're not doing this. I don't want to do this. Segment over. Doctor out. Yep, let's go. And that's how the segment ends. So, first match has been announced for Beach Break on February 3rd. Thunder Rosa versus Brit Baker, which was supposed to happen on tonight's show. So next up, we had FTR against Jurassic Express, but not. So that was random. Very random. Anyways, so it wasn't the normal team of Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. It was Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. And honestly, I thought this was a strong tag team match. And really, really showed us that, hey, Marco can hang. We knew Marco was good, but this showed that Marco can hang in a high-profile match. So the match starts out and they're wrestling around a little bit before each team finally gets into their own, and then we get Harwood and Stunt in the ring. Harwood shoves Stunt into the corner, but Stunt fired back with a slap, which just made Harwood even more mad than he already was. Because FTR is always mad. FTR began to extend the beatdown of Stunt with frequent tags in and out and some power moves. Got a drop kick that allowed Stunt to escape to Jungle Boy for a hot tag. Dragon Express hit a double up kick before Stunt used an assist from Jungle Boy to dispatch both of FTR. Stunt landed a tope through Jungle Boy's legs before Jungle Boy landed a quebrada. During the break, FTR took control of the match once again with a double team attack on Stunt. Stunt escaped a gory special with a roll-up before avoiding a powerbomb to reach Jungle Boy for his second hot tag. Jungle Boy landed a series of strikes, concluding with a backstabber on Harwood for a 2. Jungle Boy and Harwood fought on the top rope before Jungle Boy landed a top rope Hurricane Rana, but Wheeler broke up the pin attempt. At one point, Harwood beat Stunt down in the corner, but Stunt fought his way out and hit a sliced bread for a 2. Stunt rolled to the outside where Tully rammed him into the ring post with the ref not looking. Jungle Boy confronted Tully, but ran into a lariat from Wheeler, who proceeded to send him into the barricade. Back in the ring, FTR hit the Big Rig, that's the new name of their finisher, hit it on Marco Stunt to pick up the victory. So if you don't know the name, the Big Rig, it's an homage to Brody Lee, because when he was on the Indies, and I think mainly his Chikara run, he was called Big Rig, because he was a trucker. Yeah. I can't remember if he was just Big Rig. Let me know in the live chat or the comments down below. Was he just Big Rig, or was he Big Rig Brody Lee? I can't remember. I didn't see much of his Chikara days. But I know Big Rig is a nod to him. They're already calling it the Good Night Express because they can't call it the Shatter Machine. But now it's the Big Rig. Pretty cool. I like that. We then had our first of 2 title matches. The first one was the NWA Women's World Championship on the line. Serena Deeb against Tay Conti. Cool. It was just a match, to be honest. But I do have to say something, though. To me, this was just a match, but it's nuts how much Tay Conti has what's what I'm looking for, grown and improved since coming to AEW from the last time we saw her wrestle a match with NXT, which is nuts to even think. And I know Dustin has been working a lot with the women, especially the women that have less experience. He's been working with them to help them grow. So, kudos. They got some good trainers and coaches. I know Jerry Lynn's there coaching as well, so they got guys in good places there. Billy Gunn may be helping coach as well. We know Billy Gunn's a pretty good coach. I mean, he's coached in NXT. He was a coach on Tough Enough, so they got some good coaches with loads of experience. But the match starts off with some chain wrestling as the commentators discuss both women having martial arts backgrounds. Didn't know that about Serena Deeb. Deeb applied a quick cradle and got a 2 off of it, but Conti fought back and applied a heel hook. Deeb countered into a chin lock, but Conti hit a judo throw, and the match kind of reset. Conti went for a triangle sleeper, but Deeb escaped and landed a sliding lariat for a 2. They exchanged cradles until Conti downed Deeb with a pump kick. Conti maintained control with judo throws before the break. A full Nelson into a stunner got a 2 from Conti. Deeb countered another hold into a stretch muffler, but Conti reached the ropes. Conti countered the Serenity Lock into a cradle, but Deeb hit a gutbuster for a 2. Deeb then perched Conti up on the top and used the ropes as leverage to apply a gory special. Conti evaded it and followed up with a pump kick. He went for the Tay, or wherever she says her name, Tay KO. But Deeb countered into a Deeb Tox and picked up the victory. Serena Deeb, still NWA World Women's Champion. They got some announcements for next week. Chris Jericho and MJF for Santana, Ortiz. So the triple threat match. It's Jericho and MJF for Santana and Ortiz for Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. Matt Hardy and Private Party will take on the team of Top Flight and Matt Sydal. We will get a -1 Brody Lee Jr. birthday celebration match. So this is where we know what the Page match is. It's a 8-man tag. John Silver, Alex Reynolds, Colt Cabana, and Hangman Page against the Hybrid 2 and Chaos Project. Nyla Rose will be taking on Layla Hirsch. John Moxley will be in action. And, well, we'll get a segment and an update on Chuck Taylor now being Miro's young boy. We then go on to our main event. It was Darby Allin defending the TNT title against Brian Cage. The match was really good. Don't think we needed Sting, but hey, that's Sting's role, just to show up during Darby segments, not say a word, and then disappear. He did a little more than that, but we'll get to it. Taz joined commentary before the match, where it was revealed that only 2 members of Team Taz were allowed at ringside. He explained that he explained this is why Powerhouse Hobbs is not here. I don't know why Hobbs wasn't there, but correct me if I'm wrong, but Hook wasn't there either, was he? I don't remember seeing Hook, actually. So the match begins, and it was David versus Goliath. Allen immediately went for the legs of Cage, trying to take his base out from him with a drop kick. He then hit a low tope suicida before driving Cage into the barricade. He went for another tope, but Cage caught him out of midair and suplexed him on the floor. Back in the ring, Allen landed a defiant slap, but Cage clotheslined him down. Cage then pressed Allen above his head and tossed him through the ringside table on the concrete and busted Darby open. This is insane. I'd say go back and see it if you haven't seen this spot. Cage then tossed Allen back into the ring and continued the beatdown. Cage hit a running uppercut and a Gamagiri, followed up with a released German suplex. He threw Allen into the corner and laid in some ground and pound before Allen finally got his wits about him after a commercial break. After that break, Allen went for a dive, so Cage caught him and hit an F5, but Allen kicked out of one. Cage then hit a series of 3 power bombs, releasing on the third. Allen flipped Cage off, so Cage powerbombed him onto the ramp. Cage brought Allen back into the ring with a suplex over the ropes. Allen once again kicked out of one, infuriating Brian Cage. Cage pulled out the ring steps and looked like he was maybe going to give an F5 to Allen on the ring steps, but Allen fought out and hit Cage's hand, sending him into the steps. Allen then landed a coffin drop on the steps, and Cage barely made it back in the ring before the 10. This infuriated Taz. Taz was like, that should be a disqualification. He used the ring steps. And Excalibur goes, well, it was your boy Cage that actually brought the steps into play. Taz's like, that doesn't matter. So Allen laid in some slaps, but Cage caught him on a coffin drop attempt. He tried to apply a bear hug, but Allen got a little more than he could chew. Allen hit a stunner and then took his belt off and tied it around the ankles of Brian Cage. But it really only just knocked Cage down for a second. Cage then got out of it. Very unnecessary spot, because it lasted a whole 30 seconds, if that. Cage removes the belt. Allen hit a code red for a close near fall. Allen dropped Cage into the corner and he did a double stomp. Starks would try to get involved, but the lights would go out. When the lights came back on, Sting would appear. He dispatched Starks. Cage then went for an avalanche F5, but Allen countered into a crucifix bomb and pinned Cage to retain the title. Snow fell as Allen and Sting stood strong and Team Taz retreated. But with that, Darby Allin, still TNT champion. A Hot Rod Bubba says, who is Hook? Hook is the son of Taz, who is now part of Team Taz. Team Taz is Taz, Cage, Starks, Hobbs, Hook. The whole thing with Hook was that apparently he had been training with Cody at the Nightmare Factory. Taz found out, took his son, and said, no, you ain't training with that fool. You train with real men. But that was AEW Dynamite. I do have the poll here. What you guys thought of Dynamite? What did you think? Did you like it? 80% said you liked it. 20% said it was all right. And 0 said you didn't like it. So everyone, for the most part, liked Dynamite tonight. Let's throw up our second poll of the night before we talk about some of their NXT. Let's run this poll. New poll. What did you think tonight's NXT? Liked it? It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, let's run that poll. See what you guys thought of tonight's NXT. That over there. You got NXT. NXT kicks off Candice LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart. I thought this was a good match. This is the first time that these two women have fought in singles competition since I want to say October 14th when they were in a number one contenders match to get a shot at the women's title. So match starts off and they just go to blows. Blackheart shined before she did a flying crossbody off the top for a near fall. Blackheart grounded LeRae with a submission hold, but LeRae reached the ropes to force the break. Broke, Blackheart that is, and then Blackheart stayed on the attack though. They fought on the apron and set up Blackheart flying off the apron with a leaping knee strike. India Hartwell caused a distraction and LeRae springboarded into a flying crossbody on the floor. The show cut to a picture-in-picture commercial, and LeRae got some heat on Blackheart. Blackheart was making a comeback when the show returned. He followed this up with a senton for a 2. LeRae hit a DDT on the apron, and that led to Blackheart sailing through the ropes with a tope suicida. However, LeRae soon countered Blackheart. LeRae went for a lion salt, but Blackheart blocked it. LeRae was still able to counter, applying the Gargano escape. Blackheart broke the hold by swinging LeRae into a neck breaker. Hartwell caused a distraction yet again when Blackheart climbed the top rope. This allowed LeRae to hit some strikes. She also hit the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. LeRae would then cover Blackheart and pick up the victory. Candice LeRae. Wait, no. Yeah, Candice LeRae picks up the victory. We then see Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan arriving in the building. And this was the Pete Dunne show tonight. They really made Pete Dunne look like a big deal challenger tonight. This show was all about, not all about, but there was a lot of, we're building up Pete Dunne as a legit challenger to the NXT champion. They arrived just as NXT champion Finn Balor was heading out to the ring. So Finn goes out to cut a promo. Finn was cutting one of those tough guy promos about, Kyle O'Reilly, he's tough, but he can't beat me. Maybe nobody can beat me because I'm the champion. And then he'd be interrupted by Pete Dunne. Dunne confronted him, and Dunne was flanked by the NXT Tag Team Champions, Burch and Lorcan. Dunne cut a promo on Balor as he entered the ring slowly. Then, a brawl would ensue 3-on-1. The odds soon just got too much for the NXT champion before Kyle O'Reilly would make the save. They let us know in commentary, Kyle's not even supposed to be here. Kyle is not cleared for competition. He's still got that jaw injury. We would then see the other members of Undisputed Era run down, like Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, as the heels ran off. Balor then had a stare down with the Undisputed Era. We then started getting Too Sweet chants. Balor rolled out of the ring and put the belt on his shoulder. Then the Undisputed Era stood around awkwardly. Finn stood around awkwardly. And then finally they cut to the back. It was like, when's this segment over? When's this segment over? When's this segment over? Cut. Johnny Gargano was doing an interview with Austin when Austin Theory appeared. He said he had a gift. It was a picture drawn by Dexter Lumis. Gargano was not pleased as well. He's going to meet Lumis later on tonight. We have the first match of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the men's portion. The Grizzled Young Vets, James Drake and Zach Gibson, against Ever-Rise's Chase Parker and Matt Martell. So basically, Ever-Rise got a little offense in, got their asses handed to them by the Grizzled Young Veterans, and Gibson pinned Martell. Not much to really talk about during this match. They gave Grizzled Young Vets, Ever-Rise a little more than I expected, which is good. But in the end, it was just, we know who's winning this, and the Grizzled Young Vets did win. So afterwards, a vignette highlighted Raquel Gonzalez, who is, I guess you could say, on the uprise. She says, as many other women have said recently, her sights are on Io Shirai, the NXT Women's Championship. Chelsea Blackheart was interviewed backstage, talked about the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and said she needs a partner. And she knows who that partner should be. Somebody that she went to war with. All of a sudden, Ember Moon would walk up and go, "Oh, hey, you talking about me?" And Shotzi said, "Yeah, I am talking about you." And Ember said, "I'll team with you. And every other team needs to know that it's going to be Ember's Law in the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic that we are going to win." And I was just like, Yeah, that was expected. I expected this one. Now, there's one team that gets announced later I was not expecting. We got a non-title match next. Johnny Gargano against Dexter Lumis. Gargano had the picture that Lumis drew him with him. After Gargano ripped up the picture, Lumis smacked him in the face, and the fight was on. Spilled to the outside, and Lumis stalked around the ring for a while, getting the better of Johnny. Lumis blocked a superplex, and Gargano took a flat back bump off the ropes. Lumis then went for a swanton bomb. There was no water in the pool. Johnny moved out of the way as we go to commercial break. Gargano was in control when we came back. Lumis tried to turn the tides with a spine buster. He gave Gargano a Tully Blanchard slingshot suplex and followed it up with the Barry Windham rolling bulldog. Not a lot of horseman moves here. Gargano fought back to counter Lumis. Crucifix by Gargano got a 2. More near falls were traded here by both guys until Gargano kicked Lumis in the side of the head. They exchanged strikes, and Austin Theory grabbed Lumis' leg, but then got kicked on the outside. Lumis countered Gargano's little charge here. Theory interfered after jumping up on the apron. Lumis was suplexing Theory into the ring when Gargano from behind schoolboyed him. Gargano would score the victory with, the assist from Austin Theory. Lumis went to attack Theory after the match, but Gargano cut him off. Gargano grabbed a chair, and he was about to hit Lumis with it when Kushida would run down to make the save. Lumis applied a submission finisher on Theory on the floor. Meanwhile, Kushida applied the hoverboard lock on Johnny. Kushida then grabbed the title belt, and it looks like, he wants the next shot. So it looks like there's 2 contenders being built up for the North American title, Kushida and Dexter Lumis. We then get the word that next week, we're getting that fight pit. We're getting that fight pit between Ciampa and Thatcher, and Wade Barrett hosted a face-to-face, a little sit-down between the two tonight. Wade Barrett hosted this sit-down between Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. This is all to build up the fight pit for next week. Basically, they argued a lot, cut some promos. I think this match is going to be phenomenal next week. I really, really think this match is going to be good. Next up, we got our second Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match of the night. It was Isaiah Swerve Scott and Jake Atlas taking on the new team of MSK. And we learned that MSK, it's the former Rascals. It's the former Desmond Wentz. No. Why did I just forget their old names? Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz, now known as Wes Lee. That's 2 words, Wes Lee. And Nash Carter. Have to grow on me a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. They looked great in this match, and I saw a lot of tweets online of, I haven't seen these guys before, but these guys seem hype as hell. I'm into them. So people liked them in their debut here tonight on NXT. MSK, like I said, were the former Rascals, and there was one spot as we're going to commercial I liked where Vic Joseph goes, these rascals, or MSK, he said something about these rascals are really getting it with that high-flying action or something like that. I'm like, nice callback, Vic Joseph. But this match was a lot of cruiserweight action. A lot of flying around before the commercial. Come back, more flying around. Lots of action all over the place. Atlas and Scott worked together with some double-team moves at one point. MSK came back with a comeback of their own as they executed a double-team neckbreaker. Carter then covered Scott to pick up the victory. Match wasn't that long. And really, MSK moves on in the Dusty Classic. Let me pull up the brackets. I'll pull up the brackets so we can see who their next opponents could be. Forgot to do that earlier as well. Where are we? I know I've got them right here somewhere. Come on, Dusty Brackets. Here we go. So, nope, that's last year's brackets. Here we go. So MSK wins, and they're going to take on the winners of Stallion and Gray, or Maverick and Dane. We also saw the Grizzly Young Veterans win. So they're going to take on the winners of Gargano and Theory versus Kushida and Ruff. Next up, we got Xia Li. No, skipped the whole segment. They let us know that the Dusty Rhodes Women's Tag Team Classic, or the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, will be starting next week. And the first match will be Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, expected that team, against a unexpected team, Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. Very unexpected. We also know that the men's tournament will continue next week. Kushida and Leon Ruff will take on Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory as Lucha House Party takes on Imperium. Then we got Xia Li. I don't even know who her opponent was because it didn't even matter. I think the bell rings. Vic Joseph goes, he asks a question to Beth Phoenix about Xia Li, and before he can even finish his question, all of a sudden we hear ding, 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 and he goes, oh, the match is already over. I couldn't even get my question out to you, Beth. Xia Li just destroyed this woman. She was getting ready to leave. Her little handler said, oh, I'll go back, get her again. And so she did. She pulls her out of the ring, ties her up in the ropes, and beats her ass. Bada bing, bada boom, there we go. All of a sudden, there's a scuffle in the back. Swerve and Atlas are going at it before Bronson Reed jumps in and goes, calm the fuck down, basically. And Swerve's like, what do you have? What does this matter to you? Why are you getting involved? And Reed was just like, hey, we don't need any of this. None of this needs to be happening. Scott gets pissed off before he walks away. And then get our main event. It was the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole and Roderick Strong against Breezango in another Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic first round match. The flow of this match was very back and forth. It was all baby faces, basically. So there was no real, like, these guys are doing the heel stuff, these guys are doing the baby face stuff, because we got heels. Oops, punched my microphone. Because we got the heels coming out later. So the match went through a commercial break. Not much happened in the first portion of the match. There was like a double down spot or whatever with Cole and Breeze, which led to a double hot tag. Strong and Fandango went at it, and more mayhem ensued. Strong ran wild and got a near fall. Cole tagged in and worked over Fandango. Countered a last shot. Breeze came in to catch Cole with a backstabber for a near fall. Fandango with another near fall moments later. Lots of high spots here in the closing minutes before Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oni Lorca would run down and start fighting with Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly tried to fight them off, but 3-on-1, too much, especially with his hurt jaw. He really was trying to take it easy, but couldn't take it easy. Yeah. So they're going after O'Reilly, but all of a sudden Finn Balor would run down to try to make the save. He and O'Reilly were still outnumbered, and Dunne laid out O'Reilly by basically kicking his jaw into one of the metal beam deals. Adam Cole was distracted here for a moment, but then he walked into a super kick. Strong was backdropped outside of the ring, and all of a sudden Cole's just up, hits a Panama Sunrise, and Fandango went over the top rope. He leapt off, only to eat a super kick from Cole. Cole then covered him and picked up the victory. Undisputed Era moves on in the Dusty Classic. They will now be taking on the team that wins between Nice and Daivari or Adonis and Troy. So, cool. A little finishing sequence there. Show ends with, you've got Undisputed Era running out to check on Kyle. Balor's kind of like leaned up against the ring like, fuck, what the hell just happened? And then you've got Burch, Lorcan, and Dunn at the top of the ramp like, coming for you. We're coming for you. I'm almost certain, and I could be wrong at this, Undisputed Era has to win the Dusty Classic, right? And then it ends up Lorcan and Burch versus Strong and Cole. Like, that's got to be the outcome, right? It's got to be. It's got to be. That was NXT. Now, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys thought of tonight's either AEW Dynamite or NXT. You can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that's 510-906-1341. This person says, who is Dr. Brit Baker's assistant? First time I watched AEW. Is she a wrestler or a jobber? So, she is a wrestler. Her name's Rebel. She has wrestled for WWE. She's done a few things. I think in 2019, she may have wrestled a couple of matches for WWE on NXT. She's most known for her run with Impact Wrestling, where her and Shelly Martinez may have had one of the worst matches ever if not the worst women's match ever. So that's who she is. And the whole joke is she's supposed to be the assistant of Brit Baker. Her name's Rebel, but Baker's supposed to be the bad boss that never learns her assistant's name and just keeps calling her Rebel, Reba. It was like an old episode of Fresh Prince. Hillary became this assistant to this what's it called, actress that Queen Latifah played, and she never got Hillary's name right throughout the entire episode. So I don't know if that's what it's a callback to, but that's what I always think of when I hear her say Reba instead of Rebel. I always think of that episode of Fresh Prince where Queen Latifah plays this snooty actress, and instead of saying Hillary, she's like, Helena, I need you over here now. Like, she never says Hillary properly. This person says, honestly thought AEW Night 2 was a great way to end AEW New Year's Smash. And I love how they had the Good Brothers tag with Kenny before their match on a Saturday. And also, do you think Darby is going to face Sting, or Sting is going to... No. Darby and Sting are not going to fight. They're going to be allies in some sort. And it's probably all going to lead to them teaming together, and then Sting like hitting a Scorpion Death Drop and a Scorpion Death Lock and winning the match. That's all I think it's going to be. With Dez and Wentz debuting as MSK tonight, any news on where Trey is going to, where Trey signed or is signing with? Haven't heard anything about Trey Miguel. I think he stated there's some family things going on and he's just taking a little time off. Person says, why don't you text the Game Changer Wrestling is having a 24-hour marathon on YouTube on January 29th to benefit indie wrestling, and I was wondering if you can spread the word and ask someone to donate, if please. Yeah, we will be, I think we maybe, not going to say too much on that, but we're aware. Person says, who's the NWA champion? Who is the NWA championship in AEW, and who challenges Raw? Okay, I don't even know what these questions are. Person here says, which team do you see winning the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic tournament, and which two teams will make the finals? I don't know who makes the finals, but I think Undisputed Era wins. So if Undisputed Era wins, maybe they take on MSK in the finals. I mean, it's either going to be MSK or Imperium on that other side, but I think Undisputed Era wins outright. This person also says, who should challenge Karrion Kross before he goes back to the NXT title and get to run again? I don't know. He can have a match with anybody, really, and it'll be good. And finally, this person here says, any news on where Ethan Page is going? I believe Hard to Kill is his last appearance. Well, yes and no. He's done with Impact already. His contract is up, and this match that they're doing at Hard to Kill, where it's Ethan Page versus the Karate Man, was filmed back in like November when they did their last set of TV tapings. So he's already done with Impact, and I haven't heard anything on where he's going. I know multiple companies are interested, but he's really just taking this time to reflect and spend it with his family. Also, as far as your Twitch poll does go for NXT, 83% liked it, 17% thought it was all right, 0 didn't like it. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Thank you for joining me here as we talked about both AEW and NXT. You can follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. You can follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. With that, guys, we will be live again this coming Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. So have a great night, and we'll see you then. All right.